Uruguay's victory a short while ago over Bolivia looks to have all but wrapped up Group A in this year's Copa America. And even if the chances of Paraguay still being eliminated remain slim to none, there is still very much the incentive of finishing as high up the table as possible. Good evening, welcome back to Brasilia for Chile against Paraguay, where the 2015 and 2016 champions Chile conclude their group phase business safe in the knowledge that they are through to the next round, but eager to still leapfrog Argentina into top spot, or at very least make certain of a top 2 position. We'll get into why that could be important in just a while. They take on a Paraguay side coming off the back of defeat to Argentina here in Brasilia on Monday, and not yet mathematically certain of progression, even if they suffered defeat tonight. A point is enough for Paraguay, but both coaches have talked about the desire to finish as high as possible. Of course, winning the group means you take on the team that finished 4th in the other group. Top 2 are in the other half of the draw to Brazil, more importantly. But let's take a look at how the teams line up. There's 2 changes for Chile from the team that drew 1-1 with Uruguay. Claudio Bravo remains in goal. Mauricio Isla, Gary Medel, Francisco Ciarralta and Eugenio Mena remain in the back 4. Guillermo Maripan, one of those that dropped out from the defence. In the midfield, Arturo Vidal, Thomas Alacon comes in, Charles Aranguiz and Cesar Pinares, another one of those to come into the side. And then up front, the now familiar duo who combined so well for a goal against Uruguay, Eduardo Vargas and Ben Brereton Diaz. The Blackburn Rovers sensation that everyone seems to be talking about keeps his place up front after his assist for Vargas's 14th Copa America goal. Just to put that into context, Vargas has got 14 in the Copa America, Messi on 10. So really one of those players during this golden age for Chile who just seems to come to life in the Copa America, Eduardo Vargas. There's the bench for Chile this evening. A number of those players have already had minutes in this tournament. Meneses, Rocco. But some good young players as well. So much of the focus with Chile always on that generation. The likes of Isla, Medel, Bravo, Vargas, of course. Alexis Sanchez, who hasn't been able to play in the group stages. But for Paraguay, plenty of change. 5 changes from the side that lost 1-0 to Argentina. Anthony Silva stays in goal, but it's now switched to a back 5. David Martinez comes in alongside Espinola, Gomez, Alonso and Arcemendia. In the midfield, switched to a 3, and Angel Cardoso Lucena comes in. So too Matias Villasanti. Miguel Almiron keeps his place, and then a new look front 2, Carlos Gonzalez from the start alongside Brian Samudio. So Eduardo Berizzo, the Paraguay coach, clearly not happy with what his side produced against Argentina, and has really looked to shake things up, not just in personnel but in the formation as well. A back 5 will no doubt see plenty of Espinola and Arcemendia getting forward from their wing-back positions. That may mean Almiron doesn't tuck so far over onto the left as we saw him against Argentina. Instead, he'll be able to make those forward runs through the middle. But one of the big surprises maybe is that Kaku Romero Gamarra drops to the bench. So too Angel Romero, because those two have been the 2 players that really have looked like they're going to make something happen in the game so far for Paraguay. Angel Romero with a couple of goals, and Kaku Romero, the player who's created the most chances, not just for Paraguay, but in the Copa America so far. So some bold changes from Eduardo Berizzo, and he'll be hoping they work out for Paraguay this evening. A point for Paraguay is enough to guarantee their progression, because Bolivia sit bottom of the group on 0 points after their earlier defeat to Uruguay. A point would ensure that we know the 4 teams going through from Group A. But as I said at the top of the broadcast, there's still plenty to play for in the group, given the incentive to try and get an easier draw, not just in the quarterfinals, but maybe in the right side of the draw to avoid potential tie with Brazil. That seems to be on the minds of a lot of the coaches in Group A. And as things stand, in that regard, it's wide open. Paraguay, with a win this evening, could go second. Here's the table. Uruguay climbed there into third with that win, their first win in the tournament against Bolivia. Chile could go above Argentina with a win tonight, so very much all to play for there, even if we can assume it's going to be Bolivia who are cut out. Remember, the final games in this group are on Monday evening. Bolivia take on Argentina, Paraguay play Uruguay. And that's why here, this majestic stadium in Brasilia, Chile wrap up their involvement in the group phase. Safe in the knowledge that they're through. Can relax in that regard. But I think both managers probably still looking at their teams and the opportunities to play games just to see what changes they can make going forward to make those improvements. Chile have lost players to injury as well. Still waiting, of course, on the fitness of Alexis Sanchez. But as yet, both managers still seem a little uncertain as to what their best 11 is. But when you're talking about Paraguay and you're talking about their best 11, no question about that man's involvement. Gustavo Gomez, the captain of Paraguay, Palmeiras defender. So strong. One of the top defenders in South America, and then captain of Chile. 6th Copa America for Claudio Bravo, the oldest player at the tournament. Gary Medel behind him. But when you look at those two, Mauricio Isla, Eugenio Mena, Charles Aranguiz, Arturo Vidal, Eduardo Vargas, all in the starting 11 tonight. All players that have come through the generation of players that have gone on to win this competition twice in the last 3 Copa Americas. And Chile, once again, harbouring dreams that maybe, just maybe, however much they may be underdogs this time round, they could add a 3rd Copa America title. It's Chile against Paraguay here in Brasilia. We'll of course have the national anthems in just a moment. We'll have the Paraguayan national anthem up first. Supremely focused Paraguay, looking to end a run. 1 win in 6, and we'll now hear the national anthem of a very much better form Chilean side.
hace cosas también. En su campo de flores volar, dejando viajar libre. Majestuosa es la blanca muralla que te dio por baluarte, Señor. Que te dio por baluarte, Señor. Y ese mar que tranquilo te baña, te promete el futuro esplendor. Y ese mar que tranquilo te baña, te promete el futuro esplendor. Dulce patria, recibe los votos con que Chile.
Dale, muchachos, dale, dale, energía, dale.
Well, we're almost ready here in Brasilia. Reminder of those lineups for Chile this evening: Claudio Bravo in goal, Maurizio Isla, Gary Medel, Francisco Sierralta, Eugenio Mena in defence, Arturo Vidal, Thomas Alacon, Charles Aranguiz, Cesar Pinares in midfield, Eduardo Vargas and Ben Brereton Diaz up front. La Roja hoping for more from that new look attack. Big Ben, as he's now known in Chile, and Eduardo Vargas for Paraguay. Anthony Silva in goal. A back five: Espinola, Gomez, Martinez, Alonso, Arasamendia. The midfield three: Cardoso, Lucena, Villasanti and Almiron. And up front, Carlos Gonzalez and Brian Samudio. Our referee for this evening, Wilmar Roldan from Colombia. Took charge of his first Copa America back in 2011. And has been one of the officials at two World Cups, 2014 and 2018, so vastly experienced. As are our two captains this evening, Claudio Bravo, Gustavo Gomez. Last time these two sides met, all the way back in 2017, yet to come around in this round of World Cup qualification in South America. So the last time they met was a World Cup qualifier, but in September of 2017 in Chile, Paraguay won 3-0. It's been a matchup historically which is very even. They both won 27 games. Paraguay have won the last two, having previously gone 8 without a win before that. And they're unbeaten against Chile in the last 4 games when they've come across each other on neutral ground. Whether that will have any bearing tonight here in Brazil, we'll find out in a moment. Of course, we'll have a minute's silence before kickoff for the victims and those still fighting against the COVID-19 pandemic in South America. Wilmar Roldan is almost ready. Last checks, the countdown, and we are underway here in Brasilia. Chile go right to left, Paraguay in their change, all white, go left to right. And quickly look to get the ball forward into Miguel Almiron. He switches the ball out to Brian Samudio, one of those that's come in. It's a nice layoff round the corner, and a cross comes in early, and Claudio Bravo Swiftly off his line to claim it and sets Chile on their way. Vidal. Thought about firing one long, looking for either Vargas or Brereton Diaz. Mena back to Sierra Alta of Watford, of course. Be back in the Premier League this season with Watford. Martín Lasarte, the manager of Chile. 6 games unbeaten now since he took over at the start of the year, replacing Reinaldo Rueda. The first Chilean coach to manage that, in fact, 6 games without defeat. They've not conceded more than 1 in any of those games. Long ball looking for that run of Eduardo Vargas, the Copa America king. Eduardo Berizzo, the Argentine coach of Paraguay, who hasn't had quite such a successful start. A few more games as well. Been in charge for 21 matches now. Only won 5. 2 of those competitive. Of course, crucially, they did get that win against Bolivia in their opening Copa America game, which is why they're on the verge already of progressing. Vidal looks to cross that one in, and Gomez is there with a strong header. While Martín Lasarte still heavily leaning on that golden generation of players for Chile, while bringing in some of those younger players like Tomás Alarcón, who's in the side tonight. For Eduardo Berizzo and Paraguay, there's still very much the sense that Berizzo is feeling his way into the job even after 21 games and still trying to assess how to set this team up. Mendia gives the ball away there. And Vargas gets a shove in the back. It's Junior Alonso who followed him there, but David Martinez, you just saw there as well, one of the players to come in to enable Paraguay to switch to that back 5. Martinez plays at River Plate, was a youth international for Argentina. Was called up to the Paraguayan national team just before the Copa America made his debut in this tournament off the bench, and this is first start. Highly rated in Argentina after a wonderful loan spell at Defensa y Justicia, helping them to win last year's Copa Sudamericana, and now back with Marcelo Gallardo at River Plate. Paraguay come forward again. There's a challenge there in the penalty box, and some half shouts from across the other side of the pitch as Brian Zamudio tumbled. It's an offside flag. Anyway, Zamudio just going a little bit early. A risky challenge nonetheless from Gary Medel. Claudio Bravo takes his time over the free kick. Vargas feeds the ball back, and there's a bit of space here to run into for Mena. Mena crosses just behind Ben Brereton Diaz. And then Paraguay get themselves into a spot of bother there. Here's Vidal. Clips it over onto the far side. It's not the best pass and made life difficult for Mauricio Isla, who couldn't keep it in. Anthony Silva hits it long. Just looked like there was a little push there in midway from Eugenio Mena. And Wilmer Roldan will indeed go back to play for a foul for that challenge by Mena. Momentarily allowed an advantage just to see where it went. Junior Alonso. Martinez. Nice ball forward. And a loose one from Carlos Gonzalez, just trying to work it back into the midfield. Gonzalez favoured over Gabriel Avelos up front tonight after coming off the bench a couple of times so far in the tournament. Now gets his first start. And Gonzalez goes to put pressure on Bravo. Good ball forward by Gustavo Gomez, and he finds the chest of Miguel Almiron, who looked as though he was going to overrun that one and managed to bundle his way through. And the challenges keep coming in as players are struggling with their initial first touch, and then as a result charging into the second challenge. This was the first one. Almiron just looked as though he'd overrun it. And then so too Brian Samudio. Vidal into Brereton Diaz and quickly into the challenge there.
Cuidado, pica. No golpee. Bien hecho. ¡Vamos!
Almiron being closely watched by two and loses out. Here's Vidal. Pinares out to Isla, and Isla decides to go back to Medel. Almiron initially seems far further up the pitch for Paraguay this evening than he did against Argentina. Berizzo trying to get a little bit more from the Newcastle United midfielder. Meanwhile, it's Chile on the front foot. Vargas, Vidal, Pinares just tries to lay it off for Medel, who's come forward from centre-back. Martinez. And all the way back to Anthony Silva. Almost 10 minutes gone here in Brasilia. Game yet to really settle. Flicked on. Looking for Espinola, who's going to have a bit more licence to get forward down that right-hand side for Paraguay. Switching to the back five, he and Asamendia will be expected to provide a lot of that width to this side for Berizzo. Gomez. Gustavo Gomez just feeds it forward into Almiron. Goes down under a challenge and wins a free kick. Alarcon didn't agree with the decision, but just had a little nibble at Almiron, who certainly made the most of it. Show of faith in Almiron by Berizzo when you look at the lineup this evening. because for a player who's only scored twice for the national team, it's not someone who's a regular on the score sheet. And when you look at the back five, Villasanti, Cardoso, Lucena, more holding midfielder, it's really down to Almiron to get forward and make things happen in their final third. It's a free kick here. Swung in from this near side, headed away. And a chance maybe to break for Chile. Pinares was just held up, but finds Isla, and now Isla's clipped. The counter comes to nothing. Junior Alonso. Cardoso Lucena won the ball initially. Bren Brereton Diaz heads it down, looking for Vargas. On this occasion, can't create a chance for his more experienced strike partner. There's a little bit too much on that one as Chile look for that run of Eugenio Mena up from left back. Here was the earlier penalty shout for Paraguay. No question, Brian Samudio had just gone a fraction early, a couple of yards offside. So it didn't really matter. Don't really have to scrutinise the challenge from Midel a great deal. Hoisted forward towards Carlos Gonzalez, who wins the header. Almiron gives chase. Ciaralta is across quickly. Samudio into Carlos Gonzalez. Carlos Gonzalez just lays it off to Arcemendia, who's forced to go backwards. Cardoso Lucena. Here's Cardoso Lucena again. Feeds the ball forward to Samudio. Patient stuff here from Paraguay. Now clipped in behind the fullback, looking for that run of Santiago Arcemendia. Can't get away from Mauricio Isla. And a foul given away by Charles Aranguis. Pass was away with one, and don't think there'll be many complaints there. Aranguis arriving late, chopping down Angel Cardoso Lucena. And a decent opportunity for Paraguay from this free kick. Gustavo Gomez, David Martinez, Junior Alonso will all be able to get forward onto the edge of the box to attack this one. It's the left foot of Santiago Arcemendia to take it. Arcemendia clips it in. It's a poor delivery, headed away. Comfortably so by Chile. Samudio. Gustavo Gomez, and it's a good pass forward there into the penalty box. A low cross, and Claudio Bravo had to be alert there to it sneaking in at his near post. I don't think any kind of shot was intended, but it could have caught out Claudio Bravo there. 38 years of age now, Claudio Bravo. He's the goalkeeper in the Copa America to have made the most saves so far. And was quickly down to stop that one. It's a corner then to Paraguay. Into the 6-yard box, and Martinez it was who got up there on his first start for Paraguay, heading over the top. Claudio Bravo goes long looking for Vargas, can't win it in the air, instead it comes back with Paraguay. Asamendia pushed right up the pitch, safe in the knowledge that he has Martinez on that left side of the three centre-backs behind him. Villasante caught in possession. Vidal. That's worked forward nicely into Aranguiz. And here's Isla on the overlap, the cross towards Brereton Diaz. And the Blackburn Rovers striker, little shove. Little shove there on Alberto Espinola. Sensation in the UK and Chile now, Ben Brereton Diaz. Plenty in the UK, surprised to see a striker for Blackburn appearing at the Copa America. But equally in Chile, the videos of Brereton Diaz with his teammates, sticking with those that can speak a bit of English, like Francisco Ciaralta, to help him through. And Brereton Diaz belting out a rendition of Wonderwall. This is initiation this week. It's been a very positive start to his international career here in the Copa America, with a goal and assist so far, and he'll be hoping to add to it tonight. Isla. Back to Medel. And all the way back to Bravo. Samudio eventually goes down to force Bravo to take it long. And it's going to reach all the way to Vidal. Arturo Vidal keeps it in play well. Goes back to Pinares. Pinares lays it off with Alacon, and Chile come back the other way. Ciaralta doesn't have a great deal on and is forced to go backwards, but it's back with the Watford centre-back. And now he strides forward. Brereton Diaz, the layoff's poor, and Almiron could latch onto it. No nonsense from the Chile defence. Aranguiz smashing it downfield and out for a goal kick. We just saw there Martin Lasarte still getting his instructions across. Only 6 games in charge, as I said before. Unbeaten. Haven't conceded more than 1 in those, but still hasn't really clicked. In all fairness, 4 of those games have been draws. And they themselves have only scored more than 1 once. So it's not exactly been free-flowing. Ciaralta almost caught there. Carlos Gonzalez quick to leap on that initial heavy touch. Ciaralta doing enough to get it back to Bravo. Medel. Isla. Goes long into Vargas, and Vargas looks to flick it on. Espinola. Here's Almiron with a bit of space to run into. Decides to come inside onto his left. Almiron still going, and it's a good recovery challenge from Ciaralta. Vidal can bring it away. Certainly, when Paraguay looked most dangerous against Argentina, it was when Almiron had a bit of speed, bit of pace to run into. And Almiron more central today. We'll be hoping for more of the same. If they can lure Chile forward, leaving those kind of spaces for him to run into. Bravo. It's not the best clearance. And it's not the best pass either from Espinola. Chile with a chance to get forward. Pinares skips away from Martinez. Pinares to the byline, crosses it towards Brereton Diaz. The header comes in. It's a poor header. It's off target. But a good break there from Chile. Pinares doing well down the right-hand side. He didn't have a great deal of pace on the cross, so in fairness to Brereton Diaz, he had to really try and generate a lot of the power himself. Here's Vargas. 3 players around him. Just smother Vargas, and here's Almiron. The offside flag goes up at the other end. And once again, the officials get that one spot on as well. Good run from Almiron, just on the blind side of Sierralta. Sierralta across to Medel. And back to Sierralta. Neither midfield has really been able to take a grip on this one as we approach the midway point in the first half. Paraguay have made those wholesale changes in the midfield with Villasante and Cardoso Lucena coming in. Haven't seen a great deal of either of those players. And as yet, the same can be said for Vidal, Aranguis and Tomás Alarcón, who came into the side for Chile. Last time these sides met in the Copa America was back in 2004. A 1-1 draw there in the group phase. Paraguay winning the 2 meetings before that in 97 and 93. And there's a chance here again for Paraguay as they come forward. The pass is delayed. They can't release Samudio. Mendia it was on the ball. Just delayed a fraction of a second, and now Chile got up the other end, direct towards Vargas. Vargas just slows things down, goes back to Medel. And as I was talking about the history between these 2 nations in the Copa America, of course, this is a rematch of the 1979 Copa America final. In that stage of the tournament when they didn't have a fixed host, the final was home and away. And in this case, they had to go to a 3rd game, a playoff, to be played in Buenos Aires. And only after that were Paraguay crowned champions. Paraguay's 2nd title, of course, having won it in 1953 as well. Those 2 Copa America wins coming quite a way back for Chile. Their recent history is what they cling on to. 2015, 2016. A number of those players still there. They don't defend that one very well, though. Clipped towards the back post, headed away. And now maybe another chance. Here's Vargas. Haven't been very good at breaking away in these situations, and once again Vargas gives the ball away cheaply. Here's Almiron. Almiron pokes it onto the near side, and it's a poor cross from Espinola. Plenty of space for the wing back. Plenty of time to get the cross right. He overcooks it badly. Eugenio Mena does well to get away there from Samudio and then feeds it forward to Brereton Diaz, whose layoff again is inaccurate. Tries to get the ball back to Arturo Vidal. Not the easiest job playing with your back to goal like that, especially when you've got someone like Gustavo Gomez breathing down your neck, but Brereton Diaz needs to do a little bit better in those situations to try and bring his teammates in, because Chile aren't exactly quick to get players up in support at the moment. So Gil Vargas need to hold it up and try and wait for those reinforcements to arrive. Alonso. Here is Gustavo Gomez. Decides to go short to Almiron, and Almiron just strokes it back to his captain. Almiron again. This time switches it over to the far side for Junior Alonso. Martinez looks down the line, looking for the run of Arsamendia. Couldn't find him. Wins a throw instead as we edge towards the half an hour mark. Half an hour in which neither side have really managed to fashion what you'd call a chance. Claudio Bravo's been called into action once, but still not entirely sure it was a shot. Reminder in Group A then that Chile are already through. This their final group game. But a win would guarantee them a place in at least the top two of the group, and therefore in the opposite side of the draw to Brazil. For Paraguay, with only 3 points, but with this and another game still to come, mathematically they're still not into the next round, but it would of course take them to lose tonight and to lose against Uruguay on Monday, and more importantly, it would take Bolivia to beat Argentina, and for there to be a little bit of a swing in goal difference as well. So probably going to be the four that are in the four positions at the moment. But which positions could still play an important role in the tournament? And that is why none of these sides in the four can rest on their laurels. Sierralta pokes it forward towards Aranguiz, but again Chile forced back into their own half and all the way back to Claudio Bravo. Vidal. Space here for Sierralta to step out of the defence, step all the way into that big hole in the midfield. That's exactly what he does. He finds Pinares. But there's no real urgency. And as a result, Paraguay are able to very quickly get a lot of players back into their own half. Chile then still in possession, trying to find their way down that far side, and eventually David Martinez steps in and wins it back for Paraguay. Half an hour gone then in Brasilia. Still goalless between Chile and Paraguay here in Group A in this year's Copa America. Almiron, Zamudio. It's a well-timed challenge from Mena. Espinola. Alonso. Martinez. And Paraguay too, seeming no real rush to get the ball forward. Gomez. Alonso. Haven't seen a great deal of Arsamendia on the ball now. And just as we saw from Espinola on the right-hand side, Arsamendia also wayward in his crossing. The plan, at least, when you look at Paraguay's lineup, would be that those two would be the two that would be getting down those flanks and trying to deliver the ball into Carlos Gonzalez. Hasn't worked out like that so far. Carlos Lucena. Junior Alonso has a bit of space to come forward. Instead, he opts to clip it towards the penalty area. And Zamudio forces Mena into action. And the Racing Club fullback heads it behind for a second corner. Almiron will take it. Wilmer Roldan having a word with one or two in the box. The customary pushing and shoving. And Almiron will now take it. Swung in towards the back post, to head it up, and it's a goal! Paraguay lead here in Brasilia. Brian Zamudio with a thumping header. And the Albirroja lead against Chile. Many would have questioned the inclusion of Brian Zamudio in the starting 11 this evening in favour of Angel Romero. But it's a terrific leap and a terrific header from Zamudio. His first international goal on his 7th appearance. And his first start in this year's Copa America. Brian Zamudio gives Paraguay the lead. It was a terrific delivery from Miguel Almiron. Whipped in to that back post. And Zamudio got up really well above his marker. Claudio Bravo with absolutely no chance. In a game which hadn't really given us a great deal after 34 minutes. Now surely promises a bit more action. Chile have to come out. Brereton Diaz. Just trying to get away from Espinola and can't do so. It's a good challenge from the fullback who tracked him right across to the other side of the pitch. Here's Almiron. A little bit of space maybe for Paraguay to come forward into. Here's Zamudio, the goal scorer. Zamudio goes back, and here's Almiron again. And Almiron goes all the way back to Carlos Lucena. Pull forward, looking for Carlos Gonzalez. It's a good interception from Mena. And this is where Chile, you feel, need to show a little bit more ambition when they nick in the possession, just to try and get a few more players up in support of Vargas and Brereton Diaz. Almiron twists away from Aranguis, and sets Paraguay on their way again. Here's Martinez. Arcemendia. Another opportunity maybe for Arcemendia to find a cross. He comes inside on this occasion into the penalty box, and it's a poor turn. Villasante getting forward from midfield, shaped as if he was going to either shoot or play the ball across the penalty area. Instead went for that little turn, put it behind for a goal kick. But Paraguay in front. Remember, they just need a draw to guarantee their position in the quarterfinals. But a win this evening jumps Paraguay up into second in Group A. So when we are talking about potential opponents, potential halves of the draw, and all of those aspects to consider when we think about the knockout phase of the tournament, could be significant for Paraguay if they can still finish right up high in the table. Sierra Alta. Oh, it's caught Miguel Almiron for a second there. Thought he was going to be racing through one-on-one with Claudio Bravo. Wilmer Roldan comes back for the little clip on Sierra Alta's heels. Alacon. Aranguis. Here's Mena. Goes back to Aranguis. Alacon, who's moving to Spain in this window with Cadiz from O'Higgins in Chile. Alacon, one of the under-20 talents, captain the under-20s, under-23s, and now gets his shot at Europe after this tournament, of course. 22 years of age, and he's got a bit of defending to do here. Almiron surges forward again. His little layoff there to Carlos Gonzalez was a difficult one for the forward to control. Aranguis. Vargas, who's dropped off, trying to get involved, has been starved of service so far. And Vidal. And Vidal's pass is a poor one, and Carlos Gonzalez intercepts and wins a free kick. Apologies all round from Arturo Vidal. Alonso hits the free kick long. Carlos Gonzalez gets up and wins the initial flick on, but Zamudio can't keep it in play. And Eugenio Mena, under pressure, can't clear his lines particularly well. Straight back out for a Paraguay throw now, and Espinola will be able to take it. Just told there by the linesman not to come any further. Zamudio can't bring it under control. Brereton Diaz lays it off for Vargas, and well, Vargas just tried to smash it off a player to win a throw, but I think there was also an element of frustration in that from Eduardo Vargas. He gifts Paraguay a corner. The last corner resulted in the only goal of the game so far. And so Miguel Almiron trots over to this near side once again. Here is Almiron. Once again to the back post. This time Bravo comes and doesn't get there. And Carlos Gonzalez heads wide of an empty net. A big let-off for Claudio Bravo and Chile. Bravo was absolutely helpless from the corner that brought with it Samudio's goal. On this occasion decided to take matters into his own hands and come, but got nowhere near that Miguel Almiron corner, and Carlos Gonzalez may well feel he should have just doubled the lead. Martinez fires this one long towards Carlos Gonzalez, who gives chase, and he might get there. He does get there. Here's Gonzalez. He's got Vidal and Medel with him, and Carlos Gonzalez tumbles, or is wrestled to the ground. No penalty. No even claims for a penalty. And Chile can bring it forward. Brereton Diaz goes down under a challenge, and there's no foul there either. Ocon goes back to Aranguis. And Islat just tries to feed it forward into Vidal. Chile keep possession. Still look a little short of ideas as we approach the break. Here's Sierralta. Bursts forward now, and it's a good recovering challenge there from Miguel Almiron. Really underrated aspect of Almiron's game, in fact. Tremendous work rate. Gets up and down the pitch. Almost like a box-to-box midfielder at times. Even if you look at this lineup and look at him more as an attacking player. Really puts a shift in, whether it's for the national team or any of the clubs that he's played for in his career so far. Medel, Sierralta, and all the way back to Claudio Bravo. It's been a flat first half, this from Chile. Martin Lasarte hasn't tasted defeat as Chile manager yet in his 6 games in charge, and he'll need to make some changes at half-time if he's going to change that. Aranguis just tries to wriggle away from a challenge. Vidal comes in strongly, and the ball's going to break nicely here for Mena. Mena getting forward from the left. Brereton Diaz in the penalty box, and he's caught on the ball there. He looks up at the referee with his arms open, but he was almost alone in his appeals. There's a chance here. Carlos Gonzalez up against Medel. Medel's holding out well. Reinforcements arrive, and Gonzalez clips it towards Asmendia. Asmendia looking for the cross. He has only got Carlos Gonzalez in the box, and for that reason opts to go all the way back to Martinez. Here's Cardoso Lucena, who's going to line up a shot from distance, and well, maybe he shouldn't have bothered. Well, that was the missed chance, and it's a big miss and a big let-off. Bravo gets no way near it, flapping away there. And if Carlos Gonzalez hits the target, it's a goal. Two minutes of added time here in Brasilia. No significant stoppages during the first half. Here's Almiron. Paraguay will certainly be pretty satisfied to be going in 1-0 up at half-time. Haven't shown a great deal, and they've given the ball away in a bad position there. Here's Vargas. Vargas Dwelled on the ball, but it's broken nicely. Brereton Diaz in the box, tries to get back onto his right foot and gives away a foul. The best chance of the game for Chile in terms of just the ball breaking for them. And Brereton Diaz is going to go in the book. It's not been the best 45 minutes for the Blackburn man. Just following through there, catching Villasante and earning himself a yellow card. When he first received the ball in that space, maybe needed to be a bit more positive and just go for goal. Instead, he was desperate to get it back onto his right foot, ran into the traffic, which led to that challenge. In a difficult 45 minutes for Brereton Diaz and Vargas, in fairness, up front. Chile just haven't really got the ball forward in any kind of threatening situation, and that time it was a bit of a gift from Paraguay, unable to capitalise, and it looks as though that's going to be it for the first half. Bravo, Sierralta hits it long, looking for Vargas. Gustavo Gomez will see this one out. And we've had our 2 minutes here, so just up to the discretion of Wilmer Roldan. And the Colombian official says that's more than enough. So here at the break in Brasilia, Paraguay lead Chile by 1-0, thanks to Brian Samudio's header. The first half, which in all fairness is not going to go down as a Copa America classic, but one which is delicately poised for the second half, to see if we get a reaction from Chile or whether Paraguay can see this one out and improve their recent form. We'll be back in 15 to see how this one pans out. So stick with us for more Copa America action. Meneses has played in all 3 games so far. Should to see Chile ask a few more questions of Paraguay, something they have to do. We're back underway then in Brasilia. Chile get us going, now going left to right, having made that attacking change. Meneses on in place of Alarcón. Martín Lasarte, to keep his unbeaten record, will be hoping that that'll have an impact, because the first 45 minutes was very, very flat indeed from a Chilean perspective. Paraguay weren't a lot better, in truth. Here's an early touch from Mauricio Isla, further forward for Chile. Goes back to Vidal, who presumably with that change will be asked to just sit in a little deeper alongside Charles Aranguis in the midfield. It's a good ball by Pinares, looking for that run down the left of Mena. And it's well defended as well by the goal scorer Samudio. Maybe a sign of intent though in the first minute from Chile, as both fullbacks get forward, try to apply some pressure to that back 5 of Paraguay, who as yet have been almost completely untested. Medel didn't have a great deal on that back pass. Bravo had to be quickly off his line. Gonzalez flicks it on. Here's Samudio. Space to run into. He's got Asamendia with him, and Asamendia clips it forward, looking to that return run of Samudio. Just stooping to try and get onto it. Couldn't do so, and instead, Meneses can bring it forward for Chile. Aranguis switches it to Mena on the far side. Lays it off for Pinares, and then looks to get the return. It's well read and well cut out. Francisco Sierralta puts that out for a throw. Wasn't going to take any risks with that header. Gonzalez lays it off, and a brief moment looked as though Espinola would make the break in behind. Sierralta just closed the door on him there. Espinola looking for a free kick, nothing in it. Bravo finds the feet of Brereton Diaz, and not for the first time this evening. The Englishman loses the ball. Paraguay. Low cross towards Carlos Gonzalez. Medel steps in and cleans up the danger for Chile. It's been an evening to forget so far for Brereton Diaz. Yellow carded in the first half, and otherwise more often than not guilty of giving the ball away. Good ball down the right hand side though for the substitute, Meneses, and he was trying to find a cross, and instead the ball ricochets off the substitute and behind for a goal kick. The attacking change maybe has just given a little bit more impetus though to Chile in these opening few minutes. They certainly have to put more pressure on this man and that Paraguayan back five that will be difficult to break down. Paraguay always a difficult side to break down regardless, but switching to a back five, three good central defenders as well. Gomez and Alonso, bags of experience. Martinez, a very promising young centre-back. Space for the substitute again. Meneses looks for the low cross. Martinez blocks that. It's going to go behind for a corner. And the introduction of Meneses does appear to have given a new angle to this Chilean attack. Just a little bit more pace in those wide areas. Another outlet to pass into. Found it very difficult in the first half to even find Vargas at all. Brereton Diaz with the unenviable task of usually having to just come deep, or come short, sorry, get the ball into his feet and try and shield it. Corner in then for Meneses. Header at the near post, flicked on. For a moment it looked as though it was going to reach Brereton Diaz at the back post. He couldn't get there. But 5 minutes gone in the second half, and Chile have shown more in the 5 minutes than they did in the first 45. Reminder, if you just joined us at half-time, that Chile are already guaranteed their place in the quarterfinals. Paraguay guaranteed their place with a draw. But if they were to win, they'll climb up into second ahead of the final round of fixtures on Monday evening. Zamudio, the goal scorer, is the man down. Not sure if it was the landing or the coming together in the air with Eugenio Mena. But the goal scorer looks as though he's going to be okay. Either way, he's back on his feet. Paraguay with some useful options there on the bench. Angel and Oscar Romero. Kaku Romero Gamara. Players that have already had an impact in this tournament, let alone at club level throughout their careers. Richard Sanchez as well, the Club America midfielder. So a decent squad that Eduardo Berizzo's been able to put together. Maybe why people would be expecting a bit more from Paraguay. Gustavo Gomez clears that one down the line. Pinares keeps it in. Zamudio does well there to work it down the line to Carlos Gonzalez. Paraguay do well to play it out of that tight spot. Here's Martinez. Threads it forward towards Almiron. Almiron lays it off for Arcemendia. And then looks for the return. It's going to go out for a throw. Martinez down the line looking for Gonzalez. Medel does enough. Martinez takes this one long. A long throw towards Gonzalez. Gonzalez goes to ground. There's a penalty being given. Chile can't believe it. They surround Wilmer Roldan. Carlos Gonzalez just there, sandwiched between Vidal and Medel. Vidal's not really involved, but it's Medel's arms just up onto the shoulder of Carlos Gonzalez that prompt Wilmer Roldan to point to the spot. It's a yellow card for Gary Medel. But more importantly than that, it's an opportunity from the spot for Paraguay to double their lead. Carlos Gonzalez has stayed down while Chile continue to question referee Wilmer Roldan. Of course, we do have VAR, so if there's any question about it, those officials watching the monitors will have their say. But Miguel Almiron is placing the ball on the spot. And Miguel Almiron can double Paraguay's lead here in Brasilia. A big moment in this game. Just as you were sensing the substitute at half-time, maybe had levelled this one up. Chile were coming back into it, beginning to ask a few more questions. And instead, La Roja could find themselves with a lot to do in the final half an hour. Claudio Bravo, the penalty hero against Argentina in the 2015 and 2016 finals, now up against Miguel Almiron. It's Almiron for 2-0. It is 2-0. Almiron from the spot. Paraguay 2, Chile 0. And Miggy certainly enjoyed that one. His third goal for the national team. It's a yellow card for Claudio Bravo. This was the moment. Medel penalised for climbing on the back of Carlos Gonzalez. Wilmer Roldan, the referee, in no doubt. And after a bit of delay, Miguel Almiron keeps his cool to send Bravo the wrong way. Paraguay have certainly taken their chances tonight. It was Almiron's corner in the first half, headed in by Brian Samudio, and the Newcastle man doubles the lead from the penalty spot. Well, what kind of reaction do we see now from Chile? Almost an hour gone here in Brasilia. And Martin Lasarte's unbeaten start to life as Chile manager, very much under threat. And Chile haven't beaten Paraguay in 3 in the Copa America. The last win coming back in the 1991 edition, a 4-0 win, when the great Ivan Zamorano lined up for Chile, was on the score sheet that day. And they lost the last 2 meetings outside of the Copa as well against Paraguay. The last win in this fixture coming back in 2015 in a friendly, a 3-2 win. And they'll need to score 3 times here in the final 30 minutes if Chile are going to record another win over Paraguay. As things stand, Paraguay will be jumping up into second in Group A. And remember, that could be significant for Chile because they're going to drop down into third. They don't have a game left in this group as well, so may yet finish 4th, and that would put them up against, most likely against Brazil in the quarterfinals. If they would won today, they would have finished in the top 2 guaranteed in Group A, and therefore been on the complete opposite side of the draw to Brazil, and would have only been able to come across them in the final. So while their progress was already guaranteed before tonight, defeat could still have significant implications for La Roja. And as a result, for Paraguay, changes. Maybe the change that people would have expected in the starting 11, but Brian Samudio has repaid the faith shown him by Eduardo Berizzo. The opening goal tonight replaced just after the hour mark by Angel Romero. Scored 2 goals in the win against Bolivia. Romero was unable to have the same impact against Argentina, but he's got a little under half an hour here in Brasilia to try and add to his 2 goals in the tournament already. Really poorly given the ball away again, and here's Almiron in space. Almiron breaking towards the penalty box. Medel tries to hold him up. Almiron clips it to the back post, and fine bit of defending by Serralta to prevent Carlos Gonzalez with a simple header at the back post. Really poor from Arturo Vidal there. Coughs up possession to Villasante, and you always know there's a bit of space in front of Miguel Almiron. Just put the ball in front of him, let him run. Corner for Paraguay. A 3rd goal would certainly kill this one off. It's towards Gonzalez, headed up into the air by Medel, and hacked away at the 2nd time of asking, and then nodded on again. It's going to fall to a Paraguayan player, and a shot. Well, I think we can assume it was a shot by Angel Cardoso Lucena. Comes in from a mile out and ends up a mile off target. Alejandro Dominguez, the president of CONMEBOL, once again watching on from the stands. Paraguay, where of course the headquarters of CONMEBOL is, are sitting pretty in this one. Chile give the ball away again in a poor area, and this one's a long switch towards Almiron. He brings it down well, he's in the box, crosses, no one really there. Francisco Serralta again can clear. Vidal brings it over halfway, looking for options, just drops it in there to Meneses, out to Isla. Isla tries to look for Vidal, can't find him. And now 2-0 up and spaces appearing. Paraguay increasingly looking for that outball for Almiron. Aranguis. Back to Medel. Brereton Diaz has to go all the way back to Medel. Serralta. Medel. Still just having to pass it among the defenders. Can't find a way forward. Cross comes in from deep. Vargas is at the back post, but it's an easy one for Anthony Silva. The Paraguay goalkeeper has had virtually nothing to do this evening after 65 minutes. And Medel seems to have just pulled up there. It's been kept in play by Carlos Gonzalez, so Medel can't exactly take a breather. Cross comes in, Vidal's back to help out. It's going to break here for Almiron. Almiron into the box, goes round one, he's brought down. All eyes on the referee, and on this occasion Wilmer Roldan does nothing. Well, this will be an interesting one to take a look at. It's a great burst into the box from Almiron. Skips away from Aranguis, who's certainly leaning into Almiron. Aránguiz there pointing to his shoulder to say that it was shoulder to shoulder. Seemed a little bit more like his arm was outstretched. Medel still holding his thigh. Looks as though he'd pulled up there as he was chasing Carlos Gonzalez before that penalty shout. There's going to be a couple of changes for Chile, just as they were in the last game, forced into changes through injury. Pablo Galdames there coming on for Cesar Pinares. And Enzo Rocco came on in the last game. On this occasion, so we're going to replace Medel. Goes off injured. And Chile would be hoping that's not a significant injury, because even with defeat, we know already Chile are going to be in the next round. But the experience of Medel, vital. Vidal can't get away from three players there. And here's Almiron again, and Almiron goes down. Again, nothing given. Almiron adjudged to have gone to ground softly. Rocco, the substitute, into Aránguiz, and here's Serralta pushing forward. Cross comes in from that far side. Brereton Diaz chests it down. It's worked out onto this near side. The cross comes in at the back post. Vargas is rising, but Gustavo Gomez is there, and Almiron away. Charges away again on the counter. Almiron, Angel Romero. Romero into the box. Romero feeds Almiron, and Vidal's back. Almiron, though, clips it over the top for Angel Romero. Romero tries to beat Serralta, can't get round him, and it's a strong challenge from the Watford defender. Can he set Chile on their way? Galdames. Vargas, Isla, Galdames, Rocco. Back to Serralta. Vidal still short of ideas even with the changes. Aránguiz trying to inject a bit of tempo into this attack. Aránguiz, a nice little ball round the corner. Meneses, low cross, cut out well and cleared away from Paraguay. Vidal picks it up, tries to get Chile going again. Here's Isla inside, nice little ball into Galdames, and the challenges come in again. Vargas tries to get the shot away, it's deflected behind for a corner. 20 minutes remain here in Brasilia. Gary Medel there with some ice on that thigh. Hopefully just a precaution. Chile need their pit bull for the knockout phases. Can they still get something from this game? Corner then. Galdames takes it. Well, there's some claims there for a handball, I think, from Chile. Vidal swarms around Wilmer Roldan. He wants the ball out so VAR can take a look at this. Well, Chile do put the ball out, and Vidal continues talking to Wilmer Roldan. He seems absolutely positive there was a handball there. Let's take a look at this one. It's Carlos Gonzalez who leaps to make the challenge. Oof, well. His arm's up there in a strange position by his head. The ball does make contact with the head as well. Just wonder whether it also comes off his arm. Vidal seems absolutely certain. Of course, we had that hugely controversial moment last night, late on in the Brazil-Colombia game. VAR checked that one. Brazil's controversial equaliser stood. And with less than 20 minutes remaining here in Brasilia, Chile could have a way back in. VAR checking this potential handball against Carlos Gonzalez. A big, big moment in this game. Paraguay, 2 goals to the good, have had the better chances for it to in fact be a greater margin, and instead could be pegged back here. Fortuitous for a Chile side that have done very little otherwise. Looks as though it's going to go in favour of Paraguay. Vidal can't believe it. Still getting some words in his ear, Wilmer Roldan, but it seemed as though there he was just explaining that the ball first hit the head and ricocheted onto the arm. Well, regardless, no decision yet. Wilmer Roldan's going to go and take a look for himself. Looked as though Roldan had heard that he wasn't going to give the penalty. Seemed to be explaining that to the players, which is why Carlos Gonzalez, the supposed guilty man, gave him the thumbs up. But having done that, Roldan now goes to the side of the pitch to take a look for himself. Not sure that's the clearest view of it. This one maybe. If there is contact with the hand, there is also contact with the head. It's almost as if it hits the two of them. Carlos Gonzalez takes the risk with his hand right up next to his head. Well, Roldan's taken a look and decides nothing given. As he explains his decision there to some of Vidal's teammates, came off the head of Carlos Gonzalez. Gustavo Gomez seemed to enjoy just giving Arturo Vidal the news there as he trotted back into position. 15 minutes remaining after that lengthy VAR delay. Paraguay will make another change. It's the other Romero now to make his way on. Vidal still not happy. Incredulous that Wilmer Roldan didn't give it after taking a look at the replay. Oscar Romero on in place of Carlos Gonzalez. Seconds after Gonzalez almost concedes the penalty. And it's also the end of the evening for Miguel Almiron. Another good performance from Almiron. Tucked away the penalty to make it 2-0. And his work is now done. Replaced in these final stages by Antonio Barrero. The Libertad forward. 32 years of age now, Barrero. But the importance of Almiron there to Eduardo Berizzo displayed in that hug as he went off the pitch. Almiron, as he was against Argentina, even if they didn't get the result that night, has been vitally important. Here's the substitute then, Barrero. Barrero finds someone in the space. In the penalty box is a big claim for a penalty. Cardoso Lucena it was making that run onto the edge of the box. And now we might have another VAR review. Straight into the action, Antonio Barrero. There's a yellow card there for David Martinez. And let's take a look at this. Well, Cardoso Lucena was trying to get the shot away. This is what Martinez has just been booked for, a late challenge on Mauricio Isla. Angel Cardoso Lucena stayed down in the Chile penalty area. Big shouts for a penalty. Really would rub salt in the wound of Arturo Vidal, who was absolutely certain that Chile would be awarded a penalty for handball moments earlier. This was the moment. Well, it's Pablo Galdames arriving behind, but Cardoso Lucena just seems to kick his own ankle. Maybe put off by the challenge coming in from behind, but Galdames doesn't seem to make much contact. And we're back underway, still 2-0. Penalty shouted at either end, neither given. Brereton Diaz gives chase, he's not going to keep that in play. Anthony Silva with the goal kick, hits it long. Flicked on, nice little touch there, almost releasing Barrero. Solid performance this from Paraguay against a very disappointing Chilean side. A performance that, despite them going through to the next round, will cause concern. If Uruguay beat Paraguay on Monday, Chile will be finishing fourth in Group A and will be up against Brazil in the quarterfinals. Here's Brereton Diaz. Tries to find Isla. It's well cut out by Junior Alonso. And that Paraguayan back five have done a sterling job this evening of completely shutting down Chile. You have to give them credit as well, as much as Chile have been disappointing and really struggled to get any of their attacking players in the game. Paraguay have defensively been so strong. Barrero gives chase. for Paraguay. It's got the Romero twins up there for support now in this new look Paraguayan attack for the final 10 minutes. Vidal. Galdames. Still struggling to find a way through. Gomez defends that one, heads it down. Paraguay get it away once more. Vidal. Galdames looks for Brereton Diaz. It's cut out. Paraguay clear, and there could be a chance here for Barreiro at the other end. He's in behind. Barreiro. There's a little nudge there from Rocco. And I think there's been an offside flag already. There has indeed been an offside flag. So no decision for the referee to have to make for Rocco's shove. And we'll see a couple of defensive changes for Paraguay in the closing stages. Omar Alderete and Gaston Jimenez to come on to see this one out. Wilmer Roldan is just checking. Maybe checking that offside or the subsequent challenge from Rocco. And now we will have those changes. Angel Cardoso Lucena, who just limped off in that challenge before. And the penalty shout will be placed by Gaston Jimenez, another one of the Argentinian-born players in this Paraguayan squad. Actually made his Argentina debut in a friendly under Lionel Scaloni just a couple of years ago, before recently switching allegiance to play for Paraguay, where his parents are from. And Omar Alderete comes on for Santiago Arcementia. Hacked away there by Alonso. And despite leading 2-0 with 5 minutes to go, Eduardo Berizzo still seems like quite a nervous man. I think it may be because he's just seen Alberto Espinola go to ground, clutching his thigh, having just made those changes. Espinola gets back to his feet but doesn't look comfortable at all. Cross comes in, it's headed away by the substitute Alderete. And Gaston Jimenez clips it right the way up into the Chilean half for Bravo. Vidal has come deep to try and instigate something, but instead is just forced to go back to Bravo. Gets the ball back again. Vidal this time has a bit more space to work with. Feeds it forward to Meneses. Vidal. Aranguis. Isla. Vargas, who's been almost anonymous in this game. Such has been the shortage of service up to the striker. The cross comes in now. Brereton Diaz may reach it. It's headed up into the air by Gustavo Gomez. Anthony Silva comes to punch. And once again, the Chilean attack comes to nothing. Meneses takes the throw in quickly. Aranguis. Rocco. Isla. Back to Rocco. Into Isla in a more central area. Chile just trying to work a space, but again just forced backwards when really they're 2-0 down. A couple of minutes to go, need to get the crosses into the box. This one is launched towards Brereton Diaz. Well, focus is first on just easing David Martinez off the ball, and then can only do his best to keep it in play. This was the moment a little while ago Chile thought they had a way back in through a penalty. Wilmer Roldan decided to take a closer look and then eventually decided that it came off the head of Carlos Gonzalez, not the hand, or not sufficiently enough off the hand. Maybe ricocheted off his head onto his hand. Seemed to be what Roldan was explaining. Either way, a penalty wasn't given. But it's been pretty desperate stuff from Chile. 87 minutes gone, and that penalty shout was about the closest they've come to a goal. In open play, La Roja have offered next to nothing. And for a side that came into this unbeaten in 6 since the change of manager, will be hugely disappointing. Hugely disappointing that with a defeat, they are now going to face a much tougher route in the knockout phases. May yet, of course, come up against Brazil in the next round as well as a result. So it's been a damaging evening here in Brasilia for Chile. Foul there by Oscar Romero. Just prevented Charles Aranguiz to take that quickly. They do so now, and with a couple of minutes of normal time left, Chile go searching maybe just even for a consolation at this point. Vidal comes across to stop that one going in behind. Keeps the ball in play, or thought he did. Maybe just as well he didn't. Space there for Barreiro if it had stayed in. Chile, though, will be concerned about the level of this performance. For Paraguay, perhaps haven't been outstanding, but have certainly been good value for the win. They came into this one with just that one win, one loss against Argentina last time out, still needing just a point to guarantee their progression. An outside chance, of course, that Bolivia could have upset Argentina on Monday and still jumped above them and knocked out Paraguay. So they had to go and get a result here. And as I say, more than good value for the victory. Could have been probably more than 2 when you look at that missed chance in the first half from Carlos Gonzalez. Chile cross to the back post. Brereton Diaz heads it down. Just heads it down into the arms of Anthony Silva. An encouraging clap from Martin Lasarte, the manager of Chile, but he'll know his side have been no way near good enough this evening. Well, we'll have 9 minutes of stoppage time here in Brasilia because of that penalty claim. Lengthy delay while Wilmer Roldan first of all got information in his earpiece before deciding that he'd go and take a look at the monitor on the side of the pitch. It's been one of those nights for Chile where you almost feel as though they could have given them 9 hours here and they wouldn't find a way through. As it is, they have 8 minutes to salvage something from this game. Isla works it down the line. Galdames back to Isla. It's a poor ball back and Paraguay can clear. Rocco. It's the first spell of concerted pressure for Chile. Haven't really been able to do much with it, but for the first time in the game they are very much on top. And Vidal adjudged to have given away a free kick there, much to his anger. Well, on this occasion, Arturo Vidal's probably got a point. Seems to win that pretty clearly. free kick just put into touch by Paraguay, who in the final 10 minutes or so seemed pretty satisfied just to see this one out. Certainly since the substitution of Almiron anyway. Enzo Rocco came on for the injured Gary Medel here in the second half. Another worry for Chile, that. We'll be hoping Medel is back for any quarter-final tie. Here's Vidal. Also be hoping they get Alexis Sanchez back at some point. Vidal. Meneses darts off forward, hoping that he'll get the ball back. He does so. Meneses down that left-hand side. Feeds it back to Vidal. Vidal crosses, and it's another fine defensive header. Paraguay, again, just boot the ball forward. Antonio Barreiro gives chase, and then Barreiro goes down. In real pain there. Unchallenged, just seemed to grab his knee there as he landed. Chile go up the other end. They're not going to be putting the ball out of play. Here's Vidal. Vidal still Vidal, and it's a strong challenge on Vidal, a clean one as well. Paraguay then can come forward. Barreiro still down in what looks like real pain, and Paraguay haven't put the ball out yet. Vidal gives away a free kick on Oscar Romero, and now Barreiro will be able to get treatment, but this looks like quite a serious one. No need for Antonio Barreiro to stay down, and he's still writhing around. And the more concerning thing is it just seems to be there when he lands. Immediately clutches his knee as it hits the ground. No contact at all from Enzo Rocco. And having just come off the bench, this could be a serious one for Antonio Barreiro. Well, the stretch is on. And Barreiro looks absolutely distraught. Never like to give a diagnosis just on seeing the replay, but that looks like it could be a serious knee injury when you look at the reaction from Antonio Barreiro. The 32-year-old doesn't have a huge amount of experience on the international scene for Paraguay. Made his debut back in 2017, scored on his debut, in fact, against Mexico. But this only his 7th appearance, and Barreiro in tears on the stretcher. Consoled there by teammates and the medical staff. On his first appearance in this year's Copa America, Antonio Barreiro's tournament looks like it could be over. Paraguay then have made all their changes. 3 minutes or so of stoppage time remaining. That certainly is going to take the gloss off this big, important victory for Paraguay. Chance for Chile maybe to cross here in the final moments. Headed away. Vidal will pick it up on the edge of the box. Vidal was hoping it would sit there for him to take a shot. Instead, Paraguay can clear. Vidal trying to put himself about, wins the ball back, and now crosses. It's a hanging cross. Vargas gets up under it. Paraguay just swinging anything they have at the ball now just to get rid of it. Angel Romero battling away in the corner and wins himself a throw. 2 minutes of stoppage time remain. Barreiro still on that stretcher now, being helped from the side of the pitch off to presumably an ambulance. Final chance maybe for Chile to get something. Breaks into the box, cross comes in towards Vargas, headed away again. This time Junior Alonso works to the edge of the box. Maybe a chance for Isla to shoot. Blocked. Back to Vidal. Aranguiz tries to clip it towards the penalty area, and Paraguay have been absolutely dominant in the air. Another cross comes in. Another header, stooping. Another header, Gustavo Gomez. And Oscar Romero helps it on to his brother Angel, who keeps it in play and can just run this one down into the corner. He has got no one with him. 3 Chilean players get back. Eventually they nick the ball. But with a minute left of the 9 added minutes, no doubt who will be taking the 3 points here in Group A. This one's going to be flicked on back to Anthony Silva. Well, even with this spell of pressure up against 10 men, Chile haven't been able to create a chance. Brereton Diaz works it to Isla. Isla tackled well by Martinez. And Paraguay will see this one out. It's out of play. Disappointing night for Brereton Diaz and Chile. Suffer their first defeat of 2021. First defeat under Martin Lasarte. Maybe one final chance. Here's Vargas. Clips it into the box. No one there. Chile will clear. Paraguay, sorry, will clear. Up towards Angel Romero. Here's Oscar Romero, bundled over by Vargas. It's a free kick to Paraguay. But we've had our 9 minutes. That will surely be it. And Lasarte sits out the last round. Chile's group phase is done, but has plenty to ponder before the knockout phase. Maybe time for one final attack for Chile. There'll be nothing more than a consolation at this stage. Vargas, Aranguiz, and they won't have time. It ends here in Brasilia after 100 minutes of football. Paraguay 2, Chile 0. Argentina, Paraguay, Chile and Uruguay will all be going through to the quarterfinals of this year's Copa America. Chile have played all 4 of their group stage games now, and may finish all the way down in 4th, depending on how results play out on Monday evening. Paraguay up to 2nd, play Uruguay on Monday. Could still top the group, but importantly, now go into that final round of fixtures in the top 2, and could get themselves a very favourable draw for the last day. Disappointment for Chile, who now need to regroup, come again for the knockout phase, and need a huge improvement on what we saw tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with the final games. On Sunday, in the final games of Group B. And then we'll get the fixtures for the quarterfinals. Plenty more action in the Copa America still to come. Thanks very much for watching tonight, and good night.